Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to talk about the biggest fails of 2021. These were products that I bought and I had high expectations for, and they ended up not working out for me at all whatsoever, and so I wanted to share those with you. We've been sharing the good all throughout the month, but not everything I tried has been good, and I have some products in front of me that range from this just did not work for me to who approved this cannot possibly work for anybody. Okay, so I'm super excited to get into the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I think I'm going to start light with a product that simply was disappointing to me, and it might have to do with the marketing for it more so than maybe the formula of it, and that is this right here from Laura Mercier. This is the Celestial Light powder from Laura Mercier. This was kind of advertised as a candlelight glow type of a powder, something you can put all over your face and have a soft glow to your face. I tried this in an Ulta haul unboxing type video this year and I was massively disappointed by it. The main reason being that this is just not possibly a powder that I can see myself or anybody wearing all over their faces, because this should be advertised as highlighting powder rather than a glow finish to your complexion. Like, imagine having that amount of glow that you see right there all over your face. It does not look natural. You look like Tin Woman, in my opinion. I haven't watched a lot of reviews on the powder, to be completely honest, but I just, again, if anybody said it was good, it could be like a good highlighting powder. I just doubt that anyone would wear that all over their face because it just looks so glowy. So I think my main issue with this one is definitely the advertisement. It should be advertised as like maybe like a soft highlight, but just not something to put all over your face, in my opinion. If you tried this, definitely let me know if you by any chance like this. Let me know down in the comment section how you're using it, because I can't with this one, okay? Can't. The next one that I wanted to touch on is from Fenty Beauty, and it is this right here. This is the Fenty Beauty palette that came out a few months ago this year. This was not a cheap palette per se. I believe this was over $50, maybe even in the 60s. Let me look it up. Okay, $48 for this palette, almost $50, and so I expected a good formula. I expected pigmented shades, I expected nice shimmers, and it's not that like it's a horrible palette that performs terribly, by no means. It works fine, but the formula just isn't like $48 worthy, you know? Like, it's cheap in my opinion. Like, maybe compare it to like ColourPop quality, and you know you can get a ColourPop palette that has this amount of shades for probably like $20 to $25, which is around half the price as this one retails for. It does have a little bit more of a slick plastic packaging, but it is just not a big deal as far as a palette is concerned. The color story is quite boring. There was nothing special about this one, and I just found it to be very overpriced. Did not recommend it, and I still don't. I think it was just a big old fail for Fenty. I am still expecting Fenty to recover from their bad quality shadows that they've launched ever since the brand launched. They have amazing complexion products, but they just have not launched anything good when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, in my opinion, and this was just another disappointment, to be completely honest with you. Then we have this right here from Glowish, and this is a Huda Beauty foundation powder, I have mine in the color Fair Light. It is a luminous press powder, and I think my disappointment with this one was half the advertisement, half the fact that it still doesn't work for me regardless. Huda was advertising this one as a foundation powder that you could apply with a wet sponge to your face, and it would give you a natural, non-cakey look to your skin, and I found quite the opposite with this one. I tried to use it with the wet sponge the way she advertised it, and I found it very thick on my skin, extremely cakey looking, and just way too radiant, where it would accentuate every single little pore on my face. So this was something else that did not work for me from the get-go. So I first tried it the way she advertised it, and then I tried it as a finishing powder on top of makeup, and it also did not work for me that way. It probably does not work for anyone, in my opinion, the way she advertised it. Maybe if you're oily and you like a glowy finish, you might be able to make it work as a finishing powder all over your face, but I have dry skin, which is probably the reason why we are talking about a few powders in this video, because a powder has to be very, very special to work on my dry skin. This one was not. I did not like the finish. I felt like it accentuated my texture. I didn't like to use it without a foundation underneath, and I didn't like to use it on top of a foundation. Every time I put this powder on, I felt like I looked worse than before I used it in the first place. So this was a big fail for me, and the first fail from Glowish, because every single thing that Huda has launched from her Glowish brand has worked for me so far, except for this one. Another powder I found extremely thick and that just did not work for me at all was this right here. This was from Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. It is a powder quad that she launched around the middle of the year, I believe. I tried it because she always talks about like flawless, poreless under eyes that are bright and that look smooth, and Jaclyn herself has said a million times that she has dry skin. So, you know, I've tried a lot of her recommendations throughout the years that have worked for me perfectly, so I'm like, how can she possibly make an under eye powder that works for her dry skin and it not work for me, right? Well, it doesn't. It didn't. And I actually have found a lot of my friends that are oily who are saying that this does not work for them either, because it is quite the thick powder. It is too heavy for most people's under eyes. While I have heard people saying that this works for them, I don't think that it's their holy grail product to use underneath their eyes, and so I don't know, just not worth it in my opinion. Did not work for me. Jaclyn has dry skin, so I just expected it to like be dry skin friendly, and it is not dry skin friendly at all whatsoever. Her loose powder is. I absolutely love that one, but this right here in my opinion was a big fail, and just something else that was a big disappointment in 2021. Okay, so those products that I just talked about were the ones that, like, you know, mostly don't work for me. I found the marketing for them to not be what the product is per se, but they could still possibly work for other people. Like, I'm not totally hating on those. They just were disappointing for me and my dry skin, and maybe there are some people out there that they work for. If you are one of those, definitely let us know down in the comment section how you're using the product and making it work, because I just personally have not found the way. Now I have 3 products right here in front of me that I want to speak about next that I'm just like, who approved this? Who let it go through production? You know, that much of a disappointing product, a huge letdown. I doubt that these work for anyone. I just don't understand at all, okay? And one of them is actually from Anastasia, and that is this right here. This is the Anastasia bronzer, the cream bronzer from Anastasia. I had such high expectations for this bronzer when it first came out, and when I tried it, I'm just like, who did they make this for? Like, who? Especially this one here. This is the cream bronzer in Amber, which is for like light to medium skin tones, which is what I have. And when I tell you in the video that I tried this, it was like putting baby poop on my face. That is how I felt, that is what I said, and that is what I stand for to this day. Just look at my face right now, look at like the bronzer I have on, the contouring product I have on my eyes, and then compare that to this. It is baby poop, okay? Let me give you a little swatch. The formula of it, by the way, the formula was okay. I found it to be like really nice and pigmented. I found it to blend really nicely, but the color was just so wrong. It is just not a good bronzer in my opinion. It is extremely, extremely warm. I only see this one truly working for somebody who has a light but very, very, very warm complexion. I don't even have a pink undertone and it doesn't work for me. I'm more of like neutral right in the center. I can make bronzers that are a little bit warm work for me. Bronzers that are a little bit more cool tone work for me as well. And this one is just baby poop brown. That's just the color that it is. And I don't understand, because I feel like Norvina herself is like my color, if not a little bit lighter than me. I believe that I heard her say in one of the Instagram videos that the amber was the shade that she used. And it's so the wrong shade of like brown. It's just a huge fail. I don't understand. I've heard from you that some of the other shades are better and that you've made some of the other shades work, in which case that's fine. But this shade specifically, no. No, no, no. No. Just no. The next product is one that I tried very, very recently, and I honestly didn't really have high expectations for this one. But it performs so horribly that I had to put it in this video. And I'm talking about the REM Beauty gloss. This is the stickiest thing I've ever put on my lips. It created these like nasty, like, let me just show you, because why even explain? You're going to see it immediately. Look. I didn't even put that much product on. Let me go back to what I was using. From the first time I used it, it created those horrible, horrible, like goopy, nasty strings on my lips that look so nasty when you speak. This is like worse than like Claire's quality like makeup. This is not even a gloss that is sold for children. I absolutely dislike this formula so much. I don't know who approved this, why it's being sold, and why Ariana Grande is promoting this, because again, I just haven't been disappointed by a gloss like that for such a long time. And this is supposed to be like a little bit high end, like it is on the high end price. This is not even drugstore price, and it is so extremely cheap and disappointing. When I tried this gloss during my REM Beauty review, I hadn't been impressed by anything I had tried so far, and then I tried this, which is literal trash, let's be honest, and I was just so disappointed by the whole brand and the little thought that I think they put behind it, you know? So definitely a huge fail. This is like a scam. This is a ripoff, because it is such bad quality and it's not the most affordable. Maybe if I had paid like $1 or $2 for this, like it would be acceptable, but like any more than that, no. And it was probably in the teens. I just looked it up to piss myself off even more. $17 I paid for this. $17. No. And last but certainly not least, another product that I'm wondering who approved it and who in the world this could possibly work for, because I don't know anyone who this has worked for, okay? And this one's not even just about me being dry. No matter how oily or dry people are, every time I ask someone who has tried this product, they really dislike it, and it did not work for anybody that I know. So especially this one, if this works for you, let me know down in the comment section just to see that at least it works for someone, and definitely let me know how you use it, because again, I have yet to find the person that this works for. And I am talking about this right here. This is the Tatcha the Silk Powder. I obviously had very high expectations for this one because the Tatcha Liquid Silk Primer is my absolute favorite primer in the whole wide world. I love it. The regular silk primer works for a lot of people as well and is very highly rated. So that when they came out with the silk powder, I feel like a lot of us had very high expectations. First of all, the packaging is not even comparable to like regular Tatcha packaging. It comes in this plastic, very cheap looking container that is not what we are used to from Tatcha, in my opinion. Especially with the skincare line, they usually put things in glass jars and whatnot. Second of all, not a lot of powder comes in there, because look, I didn't notice until just now that the bottom of this is see-through, and I literally tried this once and did not like it, and I haven't used it since. And you get half of the jar in here. Look at it right there sitting at the bottom. So that's another disappointing thing that I hadn't even thought about until right now. Let me look up the price because I know this was expensive. $48 I paid for this, almost $50 for a face powder. I think that is absolutely insane to begin with, especially for a product that is as bad as this one is. And then performance wise, this first of all made my face very yellow as soon as I put it on. I didn't think it did much for setting my foundation. I thought that once I put powder, bronzer, and blush on top of it, it made it look blotchy. It just is just, again, a very disappointing product. I think it turning yellow was definitely one of the worst things about it, because it doesn't even look yellow on here. It looks pretty light, like most translucent powders usually look, and then once it touches your face, it transforms into like this yellow, patchy, dry mess. I did not like it, which again was a big disappointment for me because I'm a huge fan of Tatcha products. I love their skincare and their primers, and this was just not it. Again, if you've tried it and you spent $50 on it and you love it, let us know down in the comment section, because I am very, very curious. To me, this was just not a good product. And that is it, because fortunately majority of the products that I spent my money on this year did work for me, with, you know, a few exceptions, and I wanted to tell you about them in today's video. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up before you leave. I will not be linking these products below because I don't like them and I do not recommend them, but everything I have on my face will be linked down in the description box. Don't forget to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you back in tomorrow's video. Bye!